Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to GWN. I am Nocter, the N of GWN. In today's segment, I'm going to run some attack replays, starting here in just a few secs, and just kind of chat about some of the things I'm seeing in the game. This is my Sunday morning with Knock segment, so I just, kind of chit-chat about the game in general, things that are going on and such. As y'all know, Builder Hall 8 was released to the masses this past week, and it's been a doozy of a week. We just finished Clan Games when it was released, and they launched a whole new run of Battlefest, followed shortly thereafter by another Clan Games that was all builder-based tasks. I really like the Clan Games. I have a lot of fun with them, but this last month has really been brutal with the near nonstop Clan Games. Supercell told us it was just for the month of February, intended to kind of mirror the Olympics and such, but we're fast approaching mid-March and still getting hammered. I know a lot of players here on the forums and elsewhere have reached the burnout zone, so hopefully this one will be it for a little while. That said, the spring update brought a new potion, the Builder Potion, and runes that fill your gold and elixir storages. This Clan Games that's currently underway has all three of those, with the runes focused on the builder-based storages. So they're going to fill our gold and elixir storages over on the builder base when we use them. At the time I'm recording this, we've got, I'm going to say it was around 10 or so hours left, I think, on this latest bout of Clan Games. Same thing for Battlefest for that matter. Most of the clans I've talked to have managed to hit 50k, but I've heard that there are a lot of them that haven't, that have really struggled with the all builder-based nature of this Clan Games. Battlefest itself been a wild run, same as when BH7 was released. I decided to use it as an excuse to really surge my base development ahead, kind of work on the Super PEKKA. I've been gemming timers, both builder time on structures as well as the research time on troops, just to keep things upgrading, especially with my work on the PEKKA here. And to generate the loot for the Super PEKKA upgrades, rather than buying it outright, I've also been resetting the loot timer periodically and then, boosting the troops with the power potion so that I get level 16. The first replay I showed you here was level 16 Minion Drops. All the rest of them are level 16 mass Super PEKKA. So, for what that's worth. Really enjoying using the Super PEKKA, and I got some notes about that here in a minute to talk about as well. I've just been really following the path I laid out in my upgrade guide, just a little bit faster than what I would normally do it at. I've got the Star Lab done, the barracks are done, all four of the storages have been maxed. I just finished off the Mega Tesla, and I think next I'll probably go ahead and do I'll do the level 8 stuff now that I got it all up to level 7. So moving right along, keeping things going. Talking about upgrades and the upgrade guide. There's been some discussion that the recommended order for ground troop upgrades might be off for the number 1 and number 2 spot, and that Rage Barbarian should be higher in the upgrade order. I'll tell you, I honestly go back and forth on the number 1 and number 2 slots. Right now I got Boxer Giants and then Cannon Carts, followed by Bombers, Rage Barbarians, and then ending with Sneaky Archers. I firmly believe the Rage Barbarians are where they're supposed to be. I mean, you just don't get enough bang for the buck out of them. And sure, they're cheap, so they're not that expensive to upgrade. But I don't think that they're as big of an upgrade, as urgent of an upgrade as some of the other stuff is that gets an additional unit in the camp. Now, between the Boxer Giants and Cannon Carts, that one's tough. And I got to admit, I did decide to go ahead and switch it around to Cannon Carts first and then Boxer Giants, because it's really an argument of HP versus DP. And I talk about this a little bit on the forum, and I'll write an article about it here in the next few days probably. The hit points are greater on the Boxer Giants, but you get a lot more damage by having 3 Cannon Carts in the camp. So, way up between the two. Some of the attacks that I've seen, having that 3rd Cannon Cart really does seem to make a bigger difference than having the additional tanking power of the Boxer Giant. So, like I said, I've switched it around. I think it's the better way to go. Even though I normally lean towards the tanking power, but in this case, I'm not. Now, we talked about Super PEKKA. I finally have my Super PEKKA maxed. Yeah, I did spend a little bit of gems on that one to get that there, obviously. I wanted to test it at each level along the way, and the long made short, it ain't worth it until you hit level 16. And I know that's a tough thing to say. Level 10, you get a little more damage and hit points. Overcharge hits 800 and finally starts to, cause some damage to things. but it's still too weak to be used very effectively in the mass Super P.E.K.K.A attack strategy. And even when used with hybrid attacks, like, with cannon carts, or heck, I even tried it with, beta minions, 3 and 3 with beta minions. I've tried it just to help out the battle machine in the end to kind of clear up things and do the cleanup. Every place that I've tried it, she just goes down way too fast. I mean, she's just too weak to survive the onslaught. It's really, really disappointing. I mean, looking at level 10, which is where typically the new troops start to, get their mojo, if you will. She's got DPS of 447, hit points 4392. The overcharge damage is 800, movement speed 16, attack speed is 1.8 seconds, And by comparison, a level 14 Boxer Giant's only got a DPS of 64. The Power Punch pops out a happy 640 points of damage, but yeah, it's just a Power Punch. His HP is 2,576, so not bad. But his movement speed is slower at 12, and his attack speed is slower at 2 seconds. So you would think, well, the comparison between the two, the Super P.E.K.K.A is going to do better for us. But the reality is she doesn't, because you've got more units of giants in the camp. And when you get the giants to level 16, you've got another one on top of that. So I don't think that the Super P.E.K.K.A is ever going to displace the Boxer Giant. Certainly not at level 10. Taking it up to level 12, she's got the power to break through the outer junk building layer on a lot of these bases, but she can't get through the first defensive layer. I mean, I was unable to push that level 12 Super P.E.K.K.A into the core no matter how many times I tried. I got close once, but she still crashed on me. And it was the same with the hybrid attacks with level 12. I did the same thing with 14. Got no 3-star wins at all, but I did score a couple of 2-stars with 14, most notably against this one square base. It's got a box at the top and then open corners at the bottom, and then just walls around the outside, nothing in the middle. The entire center of the base is nothing but buildings, defensive structures and support buildings. That base design, for some reason, a lot of people are using it in the upper 4,000s, but it just completely collapses when hit with Super P.E.K.K.A attacks at level 14 and level 16. The level 16 Super P.E.K.K.A attack typically 3-stars it. And that's against some that have a mix of level 7 and level 8 defenses. So, I mean, it's not a good base to be used by so many players. I'm thinking probably some high-level player must have put it up as their decoy base, and everybody saw it and decided, ooh, I'm going to go ahead and run that. I don't know. But definitely level 14 is better than the previous levels, but still not there. It's not until you hit level 16, which I've had boosted for a lot, and you've seen all these replays. It's not until you hit level 16 that it really starts to get its moment. So I'm changing the upgrade guide for the Super P.E.K.K.A as well, and saying put it off towards the end. Unless you're gemming, it's just not going to give you the bang for the buck. Still, with something like a Battlefest, definitely use that as an opportunity to run through as many levels as you can. My basic run for Battlefest is level 6 to level 8. That's where I got with dropships last time on Builder Hall 7. And that's where I would have been with the Super P.E.K.K.A if I didn't take this weekend to just really slam into testing and playing with it. But other than that, don't waste your elixir on it. That's just my thought. As crazy as this might sound, the biggest threat that I'm seeing to Super P.E.K.K.A attacks, including at level 16, and you'll see it in these videos, the biggest threat is the guard post of all things. The positioning of the guard post, preferably towards the middle, or where you expect the point of ingress to be for the attack, the deployment point. Those troops draw the Super P.E.K.K.A in and get her into the middle, where she just gets pummeled by all the defensive structures. And as if that's not bad enough, it takes her off the path, which means that you have to find a way to cover whatever it was that you were trying to cover before with the initial deployment. Talking about base design, the Super P.E.K.K.A seems to have the greatest trouble against the diamond base, or real diamond base, and their associated layouts. I'm still working out exactly why, but I think it has to do with the layered nature of these bases. They have the strong hub with 2 or 3 layers of defenses around the Builder's Hall, and then at least 1, if not 2, layers of general buildings, support buildings, resource buildings, things like that. And that's why these guard post troops become so lethal. By contrast, these square bases, they'll typically rely on the walls to slow the troops down. And they have a greater spread of their defenses under the assumption that these higher HP buildings are going to slow down the attack so that the defenses can do their thing. The reality is that doesn't work so hot with the Super P.E.K.K.A. She manages to smash through those buildings, and because they're so spread out, she's able to get to a defense at least every other building that she takes down. So that makes a big difference, and that's where the Super P.E.K.K.A. is strongest. Just like the cannon cart, if you get one of these big wide open bases, Super P.E.K.K.A. goes in and just absolutely wreaks havoc. I've been seeing a lot of these square bases at the start, but they're falling victim to ground attacks and even air attacks. So we're moving back to the diamond at Builder Hall 8. I really think that you should just go ahead and make the jump right away. Don't even bother with the box bases at this point. They're just too easy to take down. If they had more compartments, if we had more walls, maybe. But other than that, they just they don't cut it. For those of you that are using Minion Drops, at level 14, it still seems to reign supreme as the best meta attack for air in the game. Every once in a while, I'll see a Mitch or a Drop Mitch, but for the main part, air attacks are just Minion Drops. That's all I see. On the ground attacks, every so often, I'll see something with cannon carts maybe. 1 or 2 attacks with, giants, bombers, barbarians, and cannon carts. But most of the ground-based attacks I see, it's always Bombarian, which kind of surprised me. I expected to see some level 16 troops in there by now, with Battlefest being so close to being over, and a more varied series of attack strategies for ground. But I'm just not really seeing that. It's mostly Bombarian on the ground. So, and it's effective. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the really good Bombarian attackers are pulling 75% against my bases. The average ones are still back down in the 50% and occasionally getting 1 star or even no star. But the really good attackers are doing fairly well with it. So, not too bad there. One defensive move I wanted to mention to watch out for, and this is against the air attack. A lot of players are putting a minefield along the leading edge of their base where most people come in. So keep your eye out for that. Make sure you drop those drop ships first and just kind of feel it out, suss out those mines before you put in the beta minions. So that's what I had for you guys today. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell below so you'll know when I post a new video. Thanks a lot for sticking around to the end. Comments, questions down below. Drop me an email, nocterra@gmail.com, or catch me on the forums, both in PM or on any of a number of threads that I talk on. On that note, I'm out of here. Keep on clashing. Bye-bye.